Hey everybody, welcome to my channel. So I wanted to start a channel so that I can take everybody along with me on my journey as I attempt to purchase a home through Naca during the pandemic. So let's jump right in. So I found out about Naca in December of 2020. It's currently March 2021 if you're watching this video in the future. So I found out about Naca in December 2020. I decided that I wanted to take advantage of the interest rates since they're super low. And I was looking for videos about, conventional loans and grants and stuff like that. And so one of the videos in my recommended said, no PMI, no closing costs, no down payment. And I was like, huh? So I clicked on the video. That's when I found out about Naca, and I've been very interested ever since. So fast forward to the end of January. So, okay, well, back up to December. So went on the Naca website, found out what steps I needed to take, registered for Naca, and signed up for a home buyers workshop. So now, fast forward until the end of January of 2021, I had my home buyers workshop, which they're all virtual right now due to COVID-19. It was about 3.5 hours long. We talked about pretty much everything that's in your workbook. You have to stay until the very, very end, like literally the last thing they do. Like they will show you how to set up your Naca ID, but they will not give you the home buyers workshop code, attendee code, until the very, very, very end of the workshop. So they'll flash it on the screen. And then you'll have to go back to naca.com and put in the HBW attendee ID, and it'll spit out your Naca ID, and you will also get a text message and an email address. So welcome to Naca. So once you get your Naca ID, this thing right here is going to be your best friend. So if you haven't already, and you don't need to attend the home buyers workshop to get this, you can still go right now to naca.com and print off the home buyers workbook. So that's going to be your best friend. But after you get your Naca ID, I absolutely recommend that you start uploading immediately. So you don't want to run into any hiccups. So don't wait until 2 weeks before your intake appointment or 2 weeks before your Achieve the Dream event before you start uploading. What I've had trouble with the most has been the tax transcripts. For some reason, the IRS did not let me request them online. It was something about the phone number that they had on file didn't match any of the phone numbers that I tried to enter in. So I had to wait 10 business days for them to send me a registration code in the mail. And then I had to go back online and complete the registration process. So that took... but once I completed the registration process online, I was able to get the transcripts immediately, but it took, practically 2 weeks just to get the code from the IRS. So don't wait until the last minute just because you just never know. So that part, I ran into some challenges. Also, I have student loans. So like most of people with student loans right now, they're in deferment due to COVID-19. So you don't have a payment right now, but Naca doesn't accept $0 payments. So you need to get a note or a letter or some type of payment plan set up that you can submit to Naca, letting them know what your payments will be after September, whatever, 2021, so that they can use that payment amount to calculate into your debt to income ratio. Let's see. Start cutting your expenses now. So even though I already have my required funds, which is you have to have minimum required funds, and you have to also have a minimum of $2,500. So even though I already have my minimum required funds based on what I calculated in that workbook, I noticed that I still spend a lot of money. So what I noticed in some of the Naca Facebook groups that I've been perusing is that Naca doesn't care how much money you have in the bank. You can have $1 million in the bank, but if you have more money going out of your bank account than you have coming back into your bank account, that's a red flag for Naca. So I can't verify that from personal experience, but I have read that in the Facebook groups that you will have to show a surplus of money. So just to make sure going forward, once you decide to enter yourself into the Naca program, that you can already identify ways for you to save money if you're one of those people that have a hard time not spending more than what you're bringing in, or maybe cutting it close. If you're going to have to do payment shock, which is another thing that you can learn in your workbook, you're going to have to set aside the funds for that as well. So what I started doing was just looking at everyday things that I can cut out of my life. I canceled a bunch of subscription services. I stopped contributing to my HSA at work, and I'm not recommending anybody to do that, but I have a $1,500 deductible on my health insurance, and I already have the $1,500 in my HSA. So money going in there now through my paycheck is just a surplus. So I can keep that money on my paycheck. So that's another way. If you're able to, just to get creative, short-term only, please reduce your contributions to your 401k. That's another way that you can bring more income in without having to get a second job. Call your car insurance company, call your cell phone company, call your internet company, call all of these companies that you've been with for a while. You maybe are in good standing or something like that, and say, hey, you know, are there any rebates right now? Or even say, hey, I'm going to cancel, transfer me to the cancellations department. Normally they'll throw everything but the kitchen sink at you if you threaten to cancel and leave their service because they want to retain you. So just look for different little ways that you can maybe shave this down by 15, shave this down by 25, and before you know it, you maybe have saved, you know, a couple $100s a month just from making phone calls. Let's see. Cancel your gym memberships. That's another one. So whenever you're getting ready to get started on the web file, so after you get your Naca ID, you need to immediately upload your documents, like I just said. So once you start uploading your documents, you have to upload certain documents before you can actually schedule an intake appointment or an Achieve the Dream event. If I'm not mistaken, those documents would be your driver's license, your voter registration card, the Naca consent form, the participation form, registering your dependents, like typing in your employment information, putting a bank account on file so that you can pay Naca the $25 membership fee, as well as for the credit reports. And then I think, and your taxes. You're gonna need your W-2s and your tax returns. So even if you don't have your current year's tax returns yet, you still need to upload your W-2s or either your 2019 and 2018 information. But they will not allow you to schedule a virtual appointment before you upload certain documents. So after you've uploaded those documents, then you can go to register for an intake appointment, as well as the Achieve the Dream events. So from what I've heard or read online, should I say, and this was confirmed by a Naca counselor in the Facebook groups, that they are discontinuing the Achieve the Dream events after April of 2021. Thankfully, I have an appointment April, I believe, 3rd of 2021, so I'm able to skate right in there towards the end, like prayerfully I can get qualified. So I'm just trying to just be all over these Facebook groups just to see anything, any little thing that I can do to just put myself in a better position to be qualified next month versus having to wait. So once you schedule those appointments, your Achieve the Dream event, as well as your intake appointment, you're going to get an intake appointment that's not going to be real. So what you need to do is schedule your appointment online, and on the very next business day, call into Naca or either join a chat session. And when I say chat, it's more like a Zoom. So if you are not really comfortable, because you're going to be speaking openly in front of like 10 to 20 people, however many people are on the call, including other people like you that are going through the program, as well as Naca employees that are there assisting. So if you have a problem with that, then just call the 1-800 number and talk to Naca and let them know, hey, I set up an online appointment, but I need an appointment confirmation. So once I did that, it took them, they said, okay, you'll receive an email in 24 hours. So 24 hours had come and gone. So finally, after like 48 hours, I called them back like, hey, someone was supposed to email me within 24 hours of setting up my appointment. So they got me taken care of. Long story short, it still took about 2 days for me to get an appointment confirmation. So my appointment that I scheduled online was April 23rd. My actual appointment date confirmed with Naca is July the 2nd. So do not delay. That's why I said wait. As soon as you schedule your appointment online, don't wait. The very next business day, call into Naca, or even not even business day. It could be a Saturday. I believe they're open until 1 Eastern Standard Time on Saturdays. So just call or join the live chat feature just to let them know I need a real appointment. So the longer you wait to do that, the further pushed out you're going to be. And I did this in, I guess this was maybe February, whenever I called to request an appointment, and they gave me an appointment in July, even though it was February. And then there are no more Achieve the Dream events. So going forward, our only way to be qualified is going to be going to these intake sessions. So the sooner you can get your documents uploaded, the sooner you can get a real appointment, and the sooner you can be seen, and the sooner you can buy your home. So a quick tip for you guys. I don't know if you know this or not, but all the way through, I believe it's April 22nd of 2021 this year, all 3 credit bureaus are giving you free credit reports every single week, all the way through up to pretty much the end of April. And if you're watching this video in the future, again, after April 22nd has passed, of course, all 3 credit bureaus still give you a free credit report every year. So go ahead and request those free credit reports. Why? Because you can save yourself a lot of stress and a lot of not getting qualified if you can pull up your credit report on your own and start cleaning it up. So I pulled my credit reports in January, and I noticed that I had misspellings of my name. That requires an LOE. I noticed that I had multiple addresses. That requires an LOE. I noticed that I had multiple phone numbers. I noticed that I had, thankfully it was nothing negative that caught me by surprise, like any debts or anything that I didn't know about, but I did find that I had an account that should have been closed out in good standing, like back in 2018, that was never closed out. So I ended up having to call that company directly, get them to submit a form to all 3 credit bureaus to have that account purged from our credit report, and they said that takes 30 to 60 days. So that's another reason why you don't want to wait until the last minute to start doing this stuff before your intake appointments or before your Achieve the Dream events. Like, don't wait until you get to your intake appointment, or don't wait until you get to the Achieve the Dream event and you're on the Zoom meeting with your counselor. Don't let that be the first time you look at your credit report. Don't be surprised by the things that they come back with. Already be armed with, if you can't get this stuff cleaned up, already be armed with your LOEs and have them uploaded into your web file. But most things can be easily disputed online. Last one I'm waiting on is the old credit card that I told you guys about, that should have been closed out and dropped off my credit report in like 2018. But everything else, all those extra names, all of those extra addresses, phone numbers, I was able to get all of that cleaned off. And so now I've saved myself having to write 3 LOEs, or possibly not being qualified because I had the information that needed an explanation on my credit report. Also, some things aren't disputable, because I had one address that was completely inaccurate. I've never lived there. And so when I called to dispute it, they wouldn't let me dispute it online, number one, so I had to call. So when I called to dispute it, they said, oh, well, we can't dispute this because it's still being actively reported by an open creditor on your credit report. I said, okay, well, who is it? Oh, well, we don't know, but you just need to call the creditor directly and get them to update your address, then it'll automatically flow through us. So I'm like, okay, I have no idea who this even is, who this could be, so whatever, I'm just gonna have to write an LOE for that to let Naca know that I've never lived at that address. Another LOE that I'm gonna have to write is why my address on my driver's license doesn't match my current address. What other LOEs have I seen people having to write? Oh, if on your credit report it has your first and your middle name and your last name, but you registered under Naca under just your first and last name or your maiden name or whatever, you're gonna have to write LOEs for stuff like that. Like, you wouldn't think you would need to write an explanation, provide an explanation for your middle name being used versus sometimes it not being used, but you're gonna have to write an LOE for that. Let's see, any other tips? Oh, LOEs, they must be current. So I can't confirm this again from personal experience, but based on the information that I've gathered from some of the Facebook groups is that like, say if I type up LOEs today, it's March 10th, 2021, and I don't get seen again until my intake appointment, July 2nd. So technically my LOEs would be considered out of date if I type them today and try to present them in July. So make sure that your LOE dates are current. So what I'm going to do is just simply type up my LOEs and just put the date of my Achieve the Dream, and then retype them, well, not retype them, but erase the date and then put the date of my intake appointment, so they're always staying current. So don't forget to do that. Don't think that you can just submit them one time and then just be done with it, because I have read that some people got denied or not approved or approved with conditions because their LOEs needed to be resubmitted and updated. So that's another thing. Okay, so one final tip: join the Facebook groups. There are a ton of Naca Facebook groups, of both official and unofficial, for every stage of the process that you're in. There are regional Naca groups for you so that you can connect and have a network of people as well as realtors that are going through this process right there in your area. I've seen people get help with, oh, you know, who's a good builder, or what is your experience with this or with that counselor. So it's always good to be able to talk to people that are across the street from you to get a better idea of what to expect. So if you like this video, please, please, please give it a thumbs up. Drop in the comments, let me know if you want me to continue to take you guys along with me on my Naca journey, if you want me to cover any other additional information, walk you guys through my web file so that you can see what it looks like, whatever you guys want to know. So just hit me up. Thank you for watching, and see you guys next time. So if you like this video, please, please, please give it a thumbs up. Drop in the comments, let me know if you want me to continue to take you guys along with me on my Naca journey, if you want me to cover any other additional information, walk you guys through my web file so that you can see what it looks like, whatever you guys want to know. So just hit me up. Thank you for watching, and see you guys next time.